marriage breakup. I don't know, 18 months ago. But so that is a time where you do a lot of self-reflection, I suppose, and you realise, well, maybe we're up your own arse a little bit with work and focusing on too much on this. And not that I'm busy. I certainly wasn't a workaholic, but you may be thinking too much about what you're doing, your show, or this sort of stuff. Not saying that might have contributed to it. Obviously, a lot of things would have contributed to it. But
how long were you married?
17 years.
Shit, that's and 2 kids.
Yep.
How old are the kids?
Now they're 17 and 15.
Right.
And they're great. No, fantastic. So I think, they, to be honest, they would prefer that we are not together. Not that we were like fighting or anything, but they quite like it like this. And
you're just better as individuals than as...
They're the right age to understand it, and I think you get the best of both worlds a little bit. I think I'm probably closer to both my kids now because of it. At the time, they've really, I wouldn't say sided with me, but the circumstance of what happened was, they... felt sorry for me is not a good way of putting it. But anyway, I made them side with me.
Yeah. You turned them against their mother.
I took them aside and I said, "This is what happened," and they've only got one version.
Yeah.
No, they're great, and as a result, I think probably closer to their mother as well.
Yeah.
And we're in touch as well. So it was not,
It's no animosity there.
No, but
it's a hard. I've been through that as well. It's a hard thing to go through. It's like your marriage is together 17 years. It's a very successful relationship, but I suppose you feel like a failure because you stand in front of your family and friends and a priest or whoever, and say you're going to be together until you die, and so anything less than that feels like a fail.
And you feel like you failed your kids. Their other parents are together, you're not, and a lot of people are broken up, of course, and then you're in this apartment instead of the house that you were together, and it's
you reflect on all your life choices.
Yeah, every day you get a chance to sort of think about it, but then you've got to ask yourself, would you change anything about it? In other words, would you get back? And no, I wouldn't. So there's no point worrying about that. Would you have done stuff differently over those years? Yeah, maybe, but I can't specifically think what there would be, but there certainly would have. The fact that I didn't see it coming, you got the idea that it was her call at the time.
So we used the completely blindsided at the time.
I was, but the fact that I was completely blindsided suggests that I must have had my head up my own ass a little bit to not see it coming. You know what I mean? Because you'd have to be pretty weird not to see.
Oh no, I think that's fairly common. I've been doing a bit of. I've got Rachel Hunter coming on the podcast next week, so I've been doing a bit of research for her, and her marriage with Rod Stewart, which was about half the length of your marriage. It was like 8 years. He was sitting down, like flipping through some like architecture magazines because they were renovating a house, and he was asking her opinion about a kitchen bench or whatever, and she sort of mumbled under her breath, I don't think I'm going to be here for it. And that's,
is that right?
That was how he sort of found out, and he was completely blindsided.
Yeah.
I feel like, it's hard. People, you grow and you change. You talked about regretting killing the snail on TV. It's like you're not the same person now as when you got together.
Oh yeah, totally. And and people evolve, and then you look back and you think, were we the right people to be together in the first place, kind of thing. You start overthinking everything, and then you say, at what point did I, or if we didn't break up, then would we have 2 or 3 years down the track, or would have just mattered? You just don't really know. I think the important thing now is, what happens from here on in. And as I say, we're pretty good. I mean, I saw her yesterday actually, and she's doing well. She's got some exciting stuff happening with her, which is cool, which I'm happy about, not upset about. As opposed to, oh really? Oh, that sounds good.
Good for you. At least one of us is thriving.
Whatever.
So how was your mental health after that?
Okay. It's a weird one because there's so much mental health discussion at the moment, which is great. But I've never sort of put myself in a position that, like, hey, do I have? I think anyone that goes through a marriage breakup would be kidding themselves if they
it fucking knocks you around.
Didn't have some sort of, if I could do it again, if I could do the breakup again,
you'd get in
this
first.
Is how it I just get the date, go the day before. Now, if I could do it again,
God damn it, I was just about to do that tomorrow.
there's elements of the breakup I'd handle differently. I've since listened to podcasts on what you got to do and this sort of stuff. And I wish I'd sort of had more. I wish I'd bothered to maybe seek that stuff out, as opposed to just playing it by ear, depending on what...
How do you mean? What do you mean exactly?
Well, I end up listening to some podcasts, you're going through a breakup, and you got kids, how... And some of them are pretty good, sort of things you listen to in the car, and it, gives you sort of, not so much tools, but sort of talks about ways to handle sort of stuff, And I didn't use any of that, I just kind of winged it, and... By doing that, it just depends on what mood you're in each day is how you react to what's going around. They say, for example, the whole don't contact for as long as possible kind of thing, I was doing the thing, we're making excuses to ring up, or text me or something. Hey, have we still got that thing in the game? and not to get back with her or anything like that. It was nothing to that. It was just purely... Just
for that little brief connection.
It was just bad. It's just random not having... It's like...
Well, it's strange when you spend so much of your life with someone and then
you
suddenly
walk in
they're
the house and they're not there.
Yeah.
And for a week at a time, your kids aren't even there, and you go, shit, and then everything that was familiar, and then you start thinking deep stuff like both our parents are still alive, thank God, but they're not spring chickens,
Yeah.
So we've got some other stuff to deal with in the future, but it's going to be different now. You'll be dealing with it more on your own, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like you're not going to go and support them and their time, but it's not the same. Every dog died last year, the little beagle, and even that, it's had a sort of bitter taste about it. Bad enough that he died, of course it did, and it was sudden. But we, it was only me and my daughter that were there when it happened. It was up in Mangawai up the driveway. Andrew's away somewhere, and Sammy. So it just didn't. It felt like it should have been a family sort of moment,
grieving. Yeah.
But it wasn't. But we could. This is all in your head a little bit, because if we were still together, there's every chance that some of us could have been in different parts of the country at the time, because there was a lot of that going on. So, but certain things just feel a little bit more cynical, or I don't know. But that's only some days. But mental health wise, no, I think. Humour helps, definitely.
There's that saying, if you don't laugh, you cry.
Totally. And I did cry, And my kids even saw me cry, which,
Is that the first time?
That I cried.
No, the first time your kids saw you.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, yeah, other than, I'm the sort of guy, in a sad movie, I can...
Well, Marley and me, who's not going to cry?
I can see Sophia look at me and my daughter going, are you crying, Dad? I go, no, not me. No, I'm not crying. So I am quite emotional in that sort of sense. I can cry at other people's funeral, someone's funeral that I could walk into a funeral off the street and not know the people and stand in the back and look around, and I can get emotional from their emotion, if you know what I mean.
Is that something that sort of crept in you've noticed as you get older?
Yeah, I to the point where I go, shit, how am I going to handle any of these big proper funerals that are coming my way, and God forbid, down the track. But it's I think I've always been that way, but I'm not afraid of it either. I don't think you do feel better after.
It's quite cathartic, but yeah, I mean, but we were raised in an age where you just didn't cry, you didn't show any sort of weakness or vulnerability.
Well, having said that, it doesn't mean the way I react to stuff is I won't just sit there crying. I will certainly. I'm quite proactive though, so I might have a cry, but then I go, that's good. All right, bang, that's what we're doing. I remember saying that to the kids actually. I said, hey, okay, let's draw a line on that. You're not going to see that again. Tomorrow's going to be a great day. Sun's coming up and we're doing this. You've got to force yourself into that mindset.
Yeah, so you're quite good at like compartmentalising things. And...
Yeah, well, I don't think I compart, because I think everything's just, for me, it's a big river, cluster, fuck of a lot of stuff going on, but quite good at, like, I suppose, look, yeah, so when we broke up, what do you do now? You just wait around and sit around, and I had to get on with it. So I straight away started dealing with the separation agreement side of it, Don't know why, but I just had to do something. I couldn't, so I went and did all that and pushed it through in about 2 weeks. And the woman that I was dealing with said she hadn't seen anything like it, you know. And I don't know why I did that, and it was and it wasn't to make a point to her. It was we both agree on it. It's very nice for each other, but I just had to do something. I just couldn't sit there waiting for, again, like that TV thing, waiting for someone to tell me when it's time to make a TV show, or waiting for permission. I needed to fill my time, and because that's right, I couldn't work not knowing my situation anymore. You know, like, you know, what's it, if I'm going to go make it? It certainly didn't feel like making a comedy TV show. But having said that, there's plenty of ideas for ticking over that you get now that I wouldn't have thought of had I not gone through that experience. You know, more darker sort of comedy, or you sort of see marriage breakup sort of stuff, or
because you touched upon this on your American Heartland show.
Yes, you know, and that again was a little bit cheeky at Ange's expense, you know, but it wasn't meant to be. Joke's on me.
Yeah, do you want to like recap that for anyone that may have missed that?
Well, I used to make these jokes all the time anyway, in Moon and on the TV about, Terry's wife has left him for a furniture upholsterer and Takanini kind of thing, you know. So I thought, you know, we're doing a travel show through the States. It might as well be a bit of backstory to it, fake or real. And you got to bring a little bit of real stuff to it. So I've just gone through a marriage breakup. So why the hell is he traveling through the States? All right, he's going through a midlife crisis, which I'm not. But, you know, that's a good, you got a middle-aged guy making a travel show. Might as well chuck a midlife crisis on him. Gives a bit more of an edge. So I sit there talking to the camera going on, yeah, well, you know, it's been tough. You know, my wife's left me for a carpet underlay salesman or something, you know, I don't know, carpet underlay broker or something.
That was made up. Ange isn't seeing a carpet
underlay broker, no. And not as far as I know. If you heard something, maybe, no. But that was cathartic in the sense, having a bit of a laugh at it, you know. And she knows me well enough, you know. She sort of course, it's an eye rolling thing for her. Oh, here he goes, you know. And she would have had a laugh, but to the point, I think where she'd actually contact me once because we're making the episodes bit by bit, and I think she actually she rang me up and said, "How many more episodes are there? And how many more times am I going to appear in there? You know, just my parents want to know. They want to read." I was going, "Look, don't worry about it. It's all edited now. There's no more."
Was it a little pass egg?
Was it? There's a little truth there.
Yeah, right.
Oh, there's a little truth. I mean, yeah. I mean,
passive aggressive? Not really. No.
It's more about the gag.
Yeah, right.
Put it this way: if we hadn't broken up and we were still together, there's a 90% chance that a similar line would have been.
Yeah, right.
Whether it might not have been so point. Yeah, it's a little passive aggressive. I think I knew there'd be a few people getting a laugh out of it, so maybe I was being a bit cheeky, but I certainly knew that the important people involved, my kids, for example, who were watching, I couldn't wait for them to watch the show. I certainly wouldn't have done it. Even one of them saw it before we went to air, and they were laughing, going, "Oh, that's so funny, that's good. Yeah, so you sure it's right? Yeah, I'll be right." You know.
I suppose for them it means you're in a good place, like because you're at the point where you can make jokes about it.
Yeah, back working, and look, and if I wanted to be serious and be aggressive or be snarky, and that it could have been, you know. Again,
life's too short.
Jokes on me. What kind of idiot? Professional TV presenter would be he's supposed to be talking about where he is. We'll be talking about his wife leaving him for a furniture upholsterer or whatever. And
it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean that again. I just find that amusing that this guy. How unprofessional this guy. Can't you focus on?
Well, you mentioned the term midlife crisis before, and I feel like it gets a bad rap. When people think of midlife crisis, they think of like Harley Davidsons or jet skis. Yeah. But you know, you could frame a midlife crisis as
I've got a jet ski, by the way.
Do you? No, you don't.
I had it before we broke up.
Okay, right. But you can frame it as like a chance to go, okay, I've still got a lot of years left to live. What can I do better? What have I done wrong? You know, how can I correct the course of my life, become the person I want to be?
Big time. And it's great hearing other people like yourself saying that, because you often tell yourself that and you go, you know what, this is an opportunity. You know, this is an opportunity to have a second life instead of, you know, as good as it was. You can pretty much imagine where your life was gonna. It was that aspect of it was fairly predictable, and rightly or wrongly now, you have no idea. You have no idea in 10 years' time who you might be with or where you might even be living. And that's kind of exciting. It's kind of almost like being, what are you going to do when you leave school kind of thing? You don't know. And you've got the freedom now, which you just go off and live in Spain for a month if you wanted to, you know. Do you know anyone over there? Well, I don't know.
I got some friends in Ibiza.
Just flag my kids. No. Then you realise, damn, I've got kids.
But then you'll be like, well, fuck you guys. You're in your late teens. My parents abandoned me for a year when I was 11.
Oh, there you go. And look, quite frankly, you know, I hardly see them anyway. You know, so that's the interesting thing. So we've done this. You know, everyone does it differently, and we've chosen to do a week on, week off kind of thing because logistically, I couldn't do anything less complicated now, more complicated, and it kind of works pretty well. But what I'm realizing now of their ages, I hardly see them anyway. They do their own stuff in the weekends.
So independent.
They have sleepovers, and I'm sort of associating the fact I don't see them as much as I did with the breakup, but there's nothing to do with it. They are doing their own thing now, and you almost got to stay out of it, you know.
So
annoying them.
Are you seeing anyone now? Are you quite happy on your own at the stage?
I have been. That's why I'm in a confusing stage. Yeah, but I've certainly been seeing someone who's very cool. But I still think I've got stuff to process. You know, which probably makes me not the ideal person right now. But you know, who knows? But yeah, I've been lucky in that sense that, you know, yeah. Sure. Well,
it's good that you've got the EQ, I guess, to is that a thing? The emotional intelligence, or to recognise that, because I think like the easy thing for I think especially for guys to do is just jump from one into another, and you know, and not actually process what's happened and what they've gone through.
But then I suppose you've got to be careful of maybe not overthinking it too much.
Yeah.
And thinking, oh shit, you know, I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready. And the next thing you know, 10 years down the track, and you know that person was great or perfect, and you're in this sort of fuzz of, hey, I'm still a victim. You know, I'm just going through the stuff, and next, whatever, mate. You know, eventually people stop, you know, listening. Hey, you know, it's not big news anymore, mate. We know you broke up. You know, we've moved on. There's more goss. You know, so you've got to pull yourself apart and go, okay, all right. At what point is this still you know, using that as a crutch, and what point are you know, you got to get real again at some point, I suppose, you know.
You haven't seen a therapist or anything? You're quite good at just processing stuff?
A friend of mine put me on to someone, and I think it was because of COVID, it ended up being on like an online kind of thing, like a Zoom call, which I hate. You know, I almost need to see a therapist for Zooms. I hate them, you know. So seeing a therapist on Zoom was quite stressful in itself. You know? So, look, I can't... I can't say how helpful it was, but I remember telling him, oh no, I feel really good today. Yeah, sure, yeah, I'm really good. You've solved me. It's good. I'm done. And I just think I wanted to get off the Zoom.
Right.
But as I said, a few podcasts that can be quite sort of specifically tailored to your sort of situation were quite helpful. So we've got this place up in Mangawai, and I found myself driving up there. And I'm sick of music, whatever. Actually, I couldn't listen to music for quite a long time after all this for some reason. So I just used to drive around with the car with no music on. For, you know, no radio.
Really? Why couldn't you listen to... You think there'd be even sad songs would resonate with you? Or
yeah, after a while I could, and then I enjoyed it again more than I did even before, because they got a sort of a reboot. But for a brief period there, I literally just couldn't listen to music.
Especially Adele, I'd imagine.
Yeah, Adele. And certainly not my own stuff.
Oh, no one can listen to that.
And I know. And that was very hard to listen to. No, but these podcasts are quite good. What's one particular guy, I can't remember what his name was, American guy, you know, and he's like, hey, you're going through a breakup, and yet, before you know it, you listen to this guy, and there's different sort of modules to it. And I thought that was pretty helpful. I'm trying to think if there's anything I did specifically that he suggested, but just hearing someone talk about, you don't feel so unique, or shit, this is normal, you know. And everyone you know that's been through a breakup say, oh, it takes time, and look, trust me, in a year and a half you'll be fine. You'll be, you know, this sort of stuff. It gets easier, and it does. And again, back to the mental health thing, everyone has stuff to deal with, you know, but it will get easier.
Yeah,
at
this too shall
you
pass.
just got to write it out, you know.
Yeah, one foot in front of the other.
And only you can do it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You know, no one else can. You've got to walk that walk somehow, and that's all there is to it.
Well, you've been, I mean, it rocks. And it's such a common thing, like a relationship breakdown, and it does rock you at the time. And I feel like the stuff that you went through earlier in life probably set you in a good position for it in terms of resilience.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think it probably has. And if it hasn't, well, you know, regardless, it's another experience to put down with all the other experiences. You know, it's and this one not necessarily was a great experience, but it's an experience nevertheless. So, you know, on the tapestry of your life, that's an interesting spot, you know.
Yeah, that's it. Like a tapestry, like a mosaic. It's just part of the
you know, and
glorious...
it's not always good parts. It doesn't always have to be. You need all that stuff. And I do remember, though, actually remember thinking this at the real peak of it, that real emotional side, the raw stage, the week after kind of stuff, you know, where you can't sleep and that sort of stuff. In a strange kind of way, you never felt more alive. Doesn't mean you were happy, but you feeling the pain, you felt alive and you weren't numb. It's like getting burnt. You could feel it. You meant, shit, I'm alive here, you know. And not everything has to be a real positive, amazing, euphoric experience to feel alive. It can be something as ghastly as that can actually make you feel not invigorated, but I'm in touch with the emotions, I suppose. You know?
Could you feel that at the time, or just on reflection?
At the time, I felt that, but not. I wasn't putting that down as a positive thing, but I'm just like, as opposed to everyday grey guy life, nothing really good happening, nothing really bad happening, just another day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you know, years gone by, New Year, big party, you know, the mundaneness of life that everybody goes through at some stage, you know, a bit like one day cricket, those middle overs, the 30 overs kind of thing, you know, oh, come on, you know, a bit like that. And suddenly I felt, shit, you know, you're on fire here. Someone's woken you up, you know, you actually feel alive. And then you sort of hopefully transfer that into more positive energy, I suppose. You know, it's got to start somewhere.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being so open and honest to chat about this stuff.
Yeah.
How are you? Did you and your wife, ex-wife, sit down and tell the kids at the same time?
Kind of, yeah.
Or did they? You didn't know it was coming? Did the kids sort of have an inkling? Or
No, I don't think so. Put it this way, there were probably times so they thought, oh, you guys going to break up, kind of thing, you know. And of course, we were assured, no, that's not us, you know. And I think I believe that too. I was going, no.
Sorry, kids, I was telling the truth.
Actually, I think about it now. She didn't say anything. It was just me that was saying no. But no, they didn't. I don't think that. Yeah, I suppose we sort of sat them down, and they took it remarkably well, and still have, because it's ongoing and it's not easy going from house to house, and you got to put. But in the end of the day, look, we're all still here. I've got a health. We're alive. There's a lot of people a lot worse off. You know, in so many ways. You know?
Yeah, that's a thing. There's a saying I really like, that comparison is the theft of joy. But I think sometimes comparing down's not a bad thing. Like you when you're in the French jail.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, those people there. I mean, they're leaving their families. They're going, I mean, that was gut-wrenching. And I think it is okay to go, oh, shit, you know, you got all these people, you know, down Cyclone and the Hawke's Bay and stuff. And it's terrible. You see them, their whole life is turned upside down. So that's bad enough. Like, so I can look at that and go, shit, you know, or someone's even died and go, God, what am I going through? I'm doing a podcast with Dom, talking about my life. I mean, it's not hard.
Well, some might say you've got it worse than some of the people in Hawke's Bay.
Oh, there you go. But then the people in Hawke's Bay, they'll say, yeah, but look, well, it is what it is when there's people down the road that are, you know, and there's someone at Starship at the moment with a kid who's, you know, on a machine. They don't know if he's going to be alive in the morning. So there's nothing wrong with saying, you know what, there's always someone worse off.
Yeah.
And even if just saying it can sink in, I think. You know?
Yeah.
It doesn't make it, you know, it's not perfect, but it does help.
Absolutely.